Gentlemen, the time has come once again to discuss things.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Geeky Gentleman History Month, the month in which we discuss the contributions the geeky gentlemen have made to history, but that have been ignored by biased educational system, except not at all. I am Sid Partu. Joining me today is...
The Real Manos. How you doing, Palookas?
Palookas. What's a palooka?
I don't know. It's something like guys from the 1940s used to say all the time.
Nice. So it's very apt for History Month then.
That's exactly right.
But I guess we could be even more apt for what we're discussing today. You could have been like, how you doing, you scallywags?
Scallywags.
Yeah. We're doing a fan film review today and continuing our fan film review series. And Manos chose a Pirates of the Caribbean fan film.
Yes. Considering I'm such a big fan of this franchise.
History Month narrows down the range of what you can choose. You know, it really does.
Yeah.
So this is Pirates of the Caribbean, The Sword of Jack Sparrow. So this is one I sent Manos a bunch of fan films I'd found that had that kind of fit the rules of History Month, as it were. And so he kind of was picking from that. And so this is an interesting one. There are actually quite a few Pirates of the Caribbean fan films, but most of them tend to be in Spanish or French. I think it's just because they have old buildings, and so you're just more apt to be able to get a hold of that stuff for your filming locations. I seriously think that's all it comes down to.
Yeah, if you want to base the Pirates franchise in the 1960s, you could probably do it here, but otherwise you might have some better luck in other countries.
Right. So I don't know, this is it's an interesting little thing. Nice, and I will say, as far as setting it in a historical era, I think they made a lot of really smart decisions. It's on a beach. You just can CG the pirate ship in the background really easily, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
There's just a lot that works there historically. At that point, it just becomes about doing a really good cosplay, right?
Yeah.
So I was really impressed with that aspect. But you're not much of a Pirates fan, so I'm curious, what did you think of this?
I would have to say that the actor playing Jack Sparrow was, it's a pretty good impression. I feel like I'd probably... I'm on the line calling it a performance or an impression, because it's one of those things that's a definitive character. You kind of have to play it the way Deb plays it. Or at least you would have to do your best, because it's not like, there were other Jack Sparrows, or he was a long history of comic books or novels or something like that before Johnny Depp got his hands on it. That was pretty much, a creation of his. So you kind of have to do it.
I mean, it's not only a creation of his, because you could say, oh, well, the scriptwriter or whatever, the filming of the original Pirates, Disney was freaking the hell out at what he was doing on set, acting the way he was. And he threatened to break his contract if they kept criticizing his acting too much and kept trying to get him to change. And he walked out of that film the most iconic part of the entire series, right?
Yeah.
It was a really, really strong choice and kind of all on the performance at that point. Because otherwise,
one of my favorites.
Jack's a very flat character.
Oh my God! Can you imagine if I can't imagine what they were planning to do without him. Um, I mean, it's so funny to think that they were like, freaking out over that. Well, I mean, yeah, the thing about with this franchise is, I remember when it was coming out, and Haunted Mansion had come out first and was terrible. It bombed, and then I saw a poster, a very unexciting poster for this movie with maybe Johnny Depp's name on it, but it was a skeleton on a wheel, and it just like really didn't look impressive to me. And I was like, oh my God, they're trying this again, this stupid crap, and I can't believe they got Johnny Depp in this. But yeah, without him, without those performance choices, there was nothing. There would be nothing.
Yeah, and so to portray, to get it back to the fan film a bit more, so to portray Jack Sparrow, yeah, you're right. You kind of have to do an impersonation. That's Jack Sparrow's a character who, once Depp's done with the role, you can't really give it to anyone else.
Correct.
You could conceivably do like a young Jack Sparrow movie like they did with the Han Solo thing, but I just don't see it, It just doesn't have that same appeal.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing with the young Han Solo thing, or going that route, is it does give the actor a chance to find their own version of the character. And that would be, if they did any more with this character without Johnny Depp, they'd have to figure out some approach. I mean, the obvious easy one is a younger version, or an older version, which, since, it takes place in, a specific time period, you could conceivably, have maybe the story take place at the end of the pirate era. And you have an older Jack Sparrow.
That's one of those interesting things about like the Pirates of the Caribbean. The real thing is, it's such a blip of a phenomenon. Most like pirate history is all wrapped up in South Asia Sea. Like the European pirates that like you think of from all the old movies, that's like 15 to 30 years of piracy, and that was it. It's just like, it's such a little blip on the radar. But anyway, to wrap back to the fan film itself, I don't know, like, so it's really cool because I think the actor does a really good job portraying Jack Sparrow, as Depp did. I should say, full disclosure, I don't ever really want to see Johnny Depp in pretty much anything anymore. But like, so I don't know, I guess I'd be interested in the idea of someone trying to take that role, and it's kind of just, you'd have to do it like this. So what can you do?
Or maybe just give another actor a chance to kind of create their own thing.
Yeah, but at that point, I'd rather they just create a new character,
well, that's what I mean. Like, create a new character and, let let whatever performer they find, kind of put their own thing on it, do it, kind of go from scratch. Because I don't think Jack Sparrow was even like, I'm not familiar with the ride.
Jack Sparrow was never like in the ride even before. Like they eventually added a Jack Sparrow and a Captain Barbossa to the ride, but that was completely invented for the movie.
Yeah, so they invented these characters for the film, so they could invent new characters for if they wanted to keep this thing going. And I know it has like its huge fan base. Like the fifth one or sixth one will come out, and you go, damn, they're still doing that. And I don't know. At least it's it's really funny how like I was coming home and I was thinking about talking about this film with you today, and I was thinking about like, wow, I mean, how things have turned for Johnny Depp. Like, he was so popular and beloved for years, wasn't he? And how everyone just spits on him and hates him. It's so different. It's so funny. But it took a while. I think it took, it took a while for people to really take a look at that. And I wonder, I can't help but wonder if like this character was kind of the beginning of the the end for him. Like, even though it was like he had been building up to this kind of success, and this was his greatest success. It was his greatest financial success. He got an Oscar nomination, but he seemed to become more publicly awful. And I don't know if it had anything to do with like him just hiding it well and his people hiding it well, or he was watching his shit. And then when he got super popular with this, he was like, okay, I'm good. I can do whatever I want again. I don't know where that answer is on that, but I tend to think of it as the beginning of the end for him, which is really odd. And I know we're kind of getting away from the film because I'll be honest with you, there isn't much to this film. I think that's going to be my biggest complaint about the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's 5 minutes, and like it's something called The Sword of Jack Sparrow, so you kind of, I don't know, let me tell you what I thought it was going to be from the title, right?
Okay, yes.
What I thought it was going to be was like a younger Jack Sparrow, and it was going to be like some kind of epic or quasi-epic, some kind of like scary thing that he had to do to get like a special magical sword, right? And like it's just, oh, of course he never mentions it because it's a secret weapon if he has a sword that means he can't lose a duel or whatever. That's what I thought was going to kind of be going on behind this. And then really the thing's called The Sword of Jack Sparrow because he just talks about his sword for like 2 minutes in a 5-minute fan film. And I'm like, like on one level, yeah, it's impressive that this guy's got a really good Jack Sparrow costume and he does a pretty good impression. On a technical aspect, I can tell it's ADR, but it's well done ADR. As far as like dubbing in the audio and everything, I thought they did a decent job with that. But then on like a just thing that you're watching aspect, you have a beach and a couple actors do a fucking sword fight or some shit. Like, maybe that's beyond their capabilities, to be fair. I don't know, but like, I don't know. It just seems like this was kind of a silly waste of time, of my time to watch it, because it didn't feel like anything really happened. I felt like I got the prologue to a movie or something.
It doesn't even feel like it'd be a good pre-credit sequence. Because how fucking not excited would you be if
the title for it came up and we're going into like a 3-hour Pirates movie from here on?
3-hour Pirates film, and it's just him going, hey, how's it going? This is my sword. Okay, all right, let's get going. And then dun 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 dun. It's like, what? Wait the fuck up! Wait. Like that's not exactly the opening to X-Men 2, for God's sakes. You need to really kind of, especially a movie like that, have something kind of like grab you.
Yeah.
So this doesn't even make for that.
And like maybe they are just trying to prove a concept. When this come out?
Yeah.
Maybe they are just trying to prove some kind of concept and be like, oh well, we want to fund a proper length Pirates fan film. It's just we don't have the funding for that. Yeah. So this is like our proof of concept to try to generate some kind of buzz. December 13th, 2016. One of the best Jack Sparrow impressions you'll ever hear, I guess. Captain Jack Sparrow wanders out on the beach in search of a treasure with 2 lackeys. Jack Sparrow and just credits. So it doesn't look like they have much of any interest in doing anything else, at least from the video description there. And then the rest of their videos are like costume accessories or something. Okay.
So this at least is kind of a good demonstration of their costuming.
Possibly, I'd say.
Yeah, this is that type of fan film, which, hey, you know what? Like, they used to make this, probably is more consistent with older fan films. Really, it's like, hey, I'm going to like play dress up for a minute, and we're going to kind of shoot it and kind of give it an idea of what it would look like in real life, and that's kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, as a story, I mean, it doesn't really grab me at all. So, there's that.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm left with, is like, it's everything on it on a technical level is, if not good, at least very competent. And I don't mean, that sounds like shady, and I don't mean it to. It's like, yes, they did this competently. You did this at the standard where it just, this is how things should be. where it is lacking is story, and if this is meant to be more of a technical show off, costume capability, impersonation show off kind of thing, yeah, that's got a charm to it and everything, and so I can't hate on it too much for that. That's kind of what happens when we pick a lot of these fan films, because I don't know about myself, Manos, do you watch your fan films at all before you pick them, or do you just like maybe skim around in the video real quick?
Both. Sometimes, sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Okay, generally speaking, I tend not to watch a lot of these before I pick them, except to just skim a couple seconds of the video to make sure it's not going to be like a really negative kind of surprise of like a quality drop or something. But Frasco, when he and I were doing these, he picked a Flash fan film based solely on the thumbnail looking pretty legit, and then it was starring like a 5-year-old. And I was like, oh yeah. We're like, no, we can't review it. We have to pick something else.
I almost did that once. I can't remember. I was gonna pick this one, and I watched a few minutes, and I'm like, oh, there's like these 2 8-year-olds like running around their house. It's like, shit, the thumbnail looked a lot better than this.
Yeah, right. So like, I don't know, it's one of those things. That's kind of the danger of just skipping around, because there is the potential that 2 8-year-olds could tell a better story than we get here. But I don't know, it's just there becomes kind of an incongruity and awkwardness to talk about certain things that are below a certain level of quality when we talk fan films. And so this definitely meets a level of quality, but it's not like I'm going to talk a ton of shit about their quote-unquote story, because, I don't know, the comedy feels pretty apt to some of the more base comedy in Pirates. You know, oh, dig that. Guy gets fucking down to his waist. There's nothing here. You're supposed to be over to the left a bit. That's pretty much Pirates kind of comedy right there, and like, oh, let me look at this lizard all weird, like, and then I'm just gonna throw it. My Jack Sparrow impression is quickly turning into my Grant Morrison impression. But like, I don't know, that's pretty basic comedy writing for Pirates. So like, it's not that anything in here is written really poorly. It's not like I'm like, oh my god, this is really fucking dumb, here's the reasons why this is dumb. I'm just kind of like, yeah, this is the beginning of a script. This is the beginning of a story. But it's not really anything worth talking about it from a review aspect.
Yeah, I think that's pretty apt. This is like something I'd probably put together in like a first draft to kind of get myself started on something. This would not be like the end. Matter of fact, this does remind me of a couple of like minor first drafts I've done.
Yeah.
And like then you go back and then you kind of develop the idea and develop the dialogue, and flesh it out. This feels like a non-fleshed out script.
Yeah, and I mean, like, to go through here and look at the channel's videos and see all these things that are more about like cosplay and stuff like that. Yeah, this is kind of what I would expect from someone who's involved in that side of the technical aspects. Trying to write a script is like, oh, this is just where people are talking and they like wax poetic about an object, and it doesn't really have to mean anything. Well, the whole point of like talking about a sword that much is then you got to use it, right? Like, this is the Chekhov's gun situation, right? The fact that he just spends the whole time talking about a sword and then it never does anything, like, yeah. It wouldn't take much, especially given the way this ends. There you could really get away with a simple twist that wouldn't like necessitate a sequel, but could like tease a sequel. He could sit there and he's talking about the sword, and he's talking about how it's a great metaphor for a strong crew. Yet he's got very much an antagonistic relationship with these two crewmates. Well, what if they just steal his shit and abandon him right at the end of the fan film?
That was actually
take his sword or some shit, right?
That was actually what I was expecting. Some kind of like twist in that, like, these guys were untrustworthy. Like, I mean, because they're fucking pirates. And that's happened to Jack before.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was expecting some kind of heel turn on them once they dug up the bloom or whatever the hell it was. And no, they just went back to the ship.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's just like, I don't know, like that would be the thing is you you turn the thing, you turn the tables related to what he's comparing the sword to as like a good crew, and then maybe he gets left on the island and all he has now is his sword and he's got to use that to try to get out of the situation or something. And maybe, that's probably more complex than they were able to achieve or something. I'm not saying it isn't, but they clearly have some capability here, and I think it just comes down to this is much more to show off skills as cosplayers more than to try to tell any kind of story. And so just, I don't know if it's really a problem that they didn't do all these other options. I just kind of like, yeah, but like this is kind of boring and makes the cosplay less interesting because I'm just sitting here listening to this guy talk about a sword for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it kind of turns me off and to a certain extent leaves me not necessarily wanting more, but just wanting
something.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine a fan film about Indiana Jones talking about his whip for like 3 minutes, and then doing nothing?
Yeah. You know what fan film I want to make that I think I could actually pull off?
What's that?
I want to make the fan film where Indiana Jones actually finishes teaching a class.
Oh, I like that idea.
Like all the students the whole time are just like looking at the fucking door, and he's like, "I'm gonna get through this lecture."
Yeah.
Like someone just like randomly opens the door and everyone like gets up ready to leave, and he's like, no, sit down. It's like, but Indy, you don't understand. The lost artifact. Hey, I haven't taught a whole class this entire semester. Just sit your ass.
Or it'd be fun. It might be funny to hear his students want to ask him questions about the rumors of his adventures.
Right.
Like,
good.
Hey, Tommy said you saw Nazis melt. That true?
Becky heard that you and your father slept with the same Nazi chick? Oh, man. Oh,
yeah, that's
God.
not what we're talking about.
Oh, man. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's not like you couldn't have done a Jack Sparrow fan film in, like, kind of that same light that could have been really fun and just focused on the costume and the impersonation. Like, just imagine, like, Jack Sparrow drunk somewhere as the whole fan film. That could be super entertaining, to be honest. And maybe that's just entertaining in retrospect. I don't know. But just what I'm watching here, I just want something else that this isn't giving me.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of where I'm left at. What did you think of the other two actors, since we haven't talked about them very much?
That's true. To be honest, all three of them I thought were pretty capable. They had pretty decent chemistry with each other. I actually, as much as we complain and make fun of the plotless, story we have, and it's kind of just a good execution of just showing them off in their pirate costumes. They actually, that's the thing that partly makes me want more, is they not only look good, but I don't know, they had a nice kind of dichotomy where they were really kind of like irritated with each other, and you could tell that they're tired of taking Jack's shit. Like, God, so fucking full of themselves. I'm really regretting coming.
Really regret this choice to be a pirate.
God, I wish.
Just want to go back to accounting school.
Should have been with Anne Bonny's pirate crew.
Yeah, I thought pretty much the same thing. I thought those two actors did a pretty good job as well. It helps that they're not directly impersonating someone, so they just kind of get to be like generic angry pirate. And so that was pretty effective. I guess something that like surprised me even more about the fact that they didn't turn on him is as Jack pulls out his sword to show it off, they pull their guns to try to shoot him.
Yeah.
And so like I was pretty surprised in that direction in the plot, but like I don't know, the acting on like, oh shit, he's gonna kill us now, kind of thing. I thought that was pretty good. There was some like decent reactions and kind of the over the top way that the Pirates films go with.
Yeah, I mean, I like that bit where, like, you know, he allows that guy to keep digging, and then, you know, he goes, "Oh, it's right here." You know, that was a nice bit of humor.
I think so too. Other stuff, I don't know where they got to. I think it's called a blue tongue skink, but that was kind of cool. I wasn't expecting that, so that was pretty neat from a production standpoint. You watched after the credits, right?
Oh crap! No. Oh, yes, I did. Yeah, I did.
Okay, I thought the shot at the end, with the sunset in the distance looked really, really gorgeous. It was really, really great shot.
I actually, now that you're talking about that, I'm now reminded. My favorite shot in the whole like film is the shot of the skull like embedded in the sand, and then Jack like walks up and you see his shadow kind of embody the skull. I thought that was like a pretty impressive shot, the way it was set up.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things you don't really think about it until you start talking about the way this is shot, because it's just shot well. It's just, this is how you shoot a Pirates movie, right? So I think that's just one of those things they did really well, and so I feel it's fair to say we've been kind of negative on this one, but it's just because the stuff that's done well that's just kind of what you're expecting to see, and so it's kind of hard to, I guess, go back and give it praise for things that it's like, yeah, you just should be doing that. But to be fair, they're pulling it off, and so that does deserve some accommodation.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, if there's anything you're seeing in my negativity is like, you know, the acting's pretty good. It looks good. I would have liked to have seen, you know, this crew, you know, put together like maybe a 10, 15-minute film and, you know, have a couple of twists and turns in the story. And they don't. It's like, you know, kind of just the bare minimum, which is unfortunate because, I don't know, I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
and
like,
I would have liked to have seen more.
Yeah, I'm like not expecting like Davy Jones to walk on the screen and have, you know, the sword duel on top of a mast in the middle of a gigantic whirlpool or something like that. I know that's beyond them, and I'm not expecting that. But,
yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, it's still just nice to have stuff that's more thought out, I guess, is the thing. I don't feel like there was much thought put into this story. And that, I don't know, it's just kind of disappointing. To be fair, though, I'm not sure how much thought was put into any of the Pirates stories. Roasted!
Yeah, you got him!
All right, man. So we ready to go ahead and go on to ratings then?
Okay. Let's see. Well, no Johnny Depp, 5 out of 5 digital ships.
Is that your actual rating?
Yeah.
Wow.
No Johnny Depp. This was a vast improvement.
Alrighty. Well, I'm not gonna give it points for what it doesn't have. I'll say that this is, you know, again, it's just well done in the ways it's supposed to be and lacking in much to really make it stand out or make it memorable. So I'm gonna give it like 3 out of 5 compasses that point wherever you want them to.
Yep.
So
that sounds fair.
Yeah. All right. Manos, next week, Fan Film Reviews is taking a short break for another video I shot while Steve was in town. But the week after that, we'll be talking about Captain America: The Favor, a fan film from 2013.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Let's do it.
Yes. Everyone, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, I'm the Philosopher.
And I'm the realist.
And we are your geeky gentlemen. And we will be discussing things.